Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be covering our Payday 3 Ultimate Stealth Build / Speed Build. But this is the only build you're ever going to need on pretty much every single map. There might be a variety of small different changes that you can personally make yourself, but let's get straight into it. For the first skill we're going to pick is going to be Sprint Loaded, and that is going to allow you to reload while sprinting. Pretty easy, straightforward. Alright, next is Infiltrator. For this one, we're going to want to ace it. Basically, if you kill an enemy with a throwing knife, pick up loose cash, you will gain or refresh rush. It's mostly for picking up loose cash. Normally, you're not really going to be getting a kill with a throwing knife, but you possibly can. And for the aced aspect, whenever a guard begins to detect you, you will gain rush. This is the main thing we are going for here, is the aced version. Next, we're going to go for Quick Fingers. This is going to allow you to successfully lockpick any pick instantly as long as you have rush. Next up is Bagger. So this is going to allow you to bag loot 50% faster as long as you have rush. Because if you are on a time crunch, you need to get that loot in and out. Next up is Escapist. So we are going to get the basic version here. Whenever you are masked up and sprint for at least 3 seconds, you gain rush. Ideally, we're going to try to keep the rush momentum going throughout the whole heist. Next up is Battering Ram. Forget Edge and Grit. You're basically going to have rush the whole time, so you'll be able to sprint or slide through locked doors to breach them. Basically, any lock-picking door, you will be able to breach. And next up is Swift. Your base sprinting speed when masked up is increased by 10%. We're going to want to keep that momentum going as fast as possible. We're going to work our way down to Grifter here. We're only going to get the basic version, so as long as you are masked off and within 1 meter of a civilian or employee, you gain rush. Like I said, we want to keep that momentum going as fast as possible, as quick as possible. You can get in and out of the heist. Next is going to be Walk the Walk. As long as you are unmasked and have rush, cameras can't detect you trespassing in private areas. This is actually really good for certain heists, aka the boys in blue, because upstairs and downstairs is all private besides certain locations. But I would say 90% of the heist is private area, including the back parking lot where they store all the impound vehicles and whatnot, is private area. So this is really good. We're going to move on to Social Engineering. As long as you are unmasked and have rush, employees will ignore you performing illegal actions. This is what you want. You do not want those employees or civilians snooping around, seeing you picking locks and stealing money, you know? That always gets you in trouble. Next is going to be Open Mic. Answer radios 50% faster. This is not necessarily going to come into play completely. Now, if you are casually doing stealth heist, then you're definitely going to want this because you might need to answer a radio super fast. Next, we're going to move on down to Hacker. Basically, you can gain access to any camera, flip through the CCTV system, and you can also use a runtime to loop the camera for your own. And next is going to be Secure Loop. This is going to piggyback off of Hacker. Like I said, you can use the camera as runtime loops. This is basically going to allow you to use that runtime to loop the camera. And Signal Catch. So you can answer radios remotely if you have a line of sight to the guard's body. This is really good if you have to get a kill super quick because you got caught from a distance. Basically kill the guy, wait a little bit, and if you can't make it to his body fast enough, you can answer the radio from a certain amount of distance away. You can switch this out for something else potentially, but this is really good. We're going to move on to Transporter. You're going to get the basic version of this, so whenever you pick up a bag or a body, you gain rush. Whenever you throw a bag or body, you lose rush. This is really helpful for moving loot. We're going to move on to Beast of Burden. So as long as you have rush, carrying objects or bodies doesn't incur any movement speed. So like I said, you want to keep that momentum going. You do not want to slow down. This is going to allow you to keep that momentum. Next is going to be Powerlifter. You can carry 2 bags. This incurs a movement penalty. But as long as you have Beast of Burden with rush, you will not incur any movement penalty and you can still move with 2 bags. But whenever you lose rush, you will incur that movement penalty and you will notice it. Next up is going to be Catapult. You can throw bags 30% farther. This is going to allow you to get those bags across the map quicker and faster. We're going to move on to Scrambler and we're going to get this aced. But we're acing this because whenever you place a tool, you gain rush. That is what we want. We want rush, rush, rush. Next up is going to be Speed Hack. As long as you have rush and ECM jammer active, your hacking attempts, phone searches, and QR code interactions are 50% faster and radios of guards you kill are answered instantly. Next up is going to be extra pockets. So if you have a tool in your loadout, you start the heist with 50% more tools of that type, rounded up, minimum 1 additional tool. This is going to piggyback off the last skill, so you can have 2 ECM jammers to allow you to do a few more things during your heist. Alright, next is Fortitude. Basically, you're only going to want to get the basic version. None of this really matters. We're going to move on to Pain Assemblia or Assemblia, however you want to say it. As long as you have Adrenaline in either Edge, Grit, or Rush, mainly Rush, the effects of these buffs are doubled and you take 10% less damage to Adrenaline. So the way to get Adrenaline is to throw down a medic bag and use the first aid kits inside to overheal. We're going to move on to Walking Tall, which is back 1 skill. So your Adrenaline degrades 25% slower for each down you currently have. You don't necessarily need this, especially if you're going and doing speed runs. Your Adrenaline usually isn't going to degrade that fast. Now, I'm not completely sure, but 25% for each down you currently have will help you maintain that Adrenaline for the whole heist you are doing. Next is going to be Assassin. You're only going to get the basic version here. So whenever you kill an enemy with a suppressed weapon, you gain Rush. Now, you can ace this if you wanted to. We're going to move on to Drop Cloth. So whenever you kill a guard with a suppressed weapon, their body can't be detected during the first 10 seconds. Any radios from the guards you kill this way won't activate until the 10 seconds have passed. This is a new one that I just added here at the very end. I was thinking on one of my runs earlier, if the alarm doesn't go off sooner, then I don't have to worry about stressing. So this prevents you from stressing in certain situations where you may not have a pager and you kill a last guard and you're like, shoot, that alarm is going to go off and I'm screwed. This is going to give you 10 additional seconds to do whatever you need to do to get the heck out of there and finish the heist. But that's pretty much it, guys, for my ultimate stealth / speed build. This is the only build you will ever need for any single heist in Payday 3, give or take 1 to 3 or so skills that you can interchange for yourself. But that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.